Just 1 month left in the Frontier League season means the Otters playoff race draws closer and closer. The Otters, coming off maybe their most impressive weekend of baseball of the season, now hit the road for the first time in August to take on the WindyCity ThunderBolts. Good evening, everyone, and welcome to Crestwood, Illinois, on the south side of Chicago for Evansville Otters baseball on the Evansville Otters Digital Network and simulcast this week on Flow Sports as well. Griffin Epstein joining you here on the Otters Digital Network. Evansville coming off an impressive 3-game sweep of Schaumburg, and they'll try to make it 4 wins in a row today as they take on the Thunderbolts for the 4th series this season, the final time these two Frontier League West foes facing off. The Otters 40-31 on the season, had a disappointing series loss to Florence to start last week, but boy, they bounced back in a big way and took down playoff contending Schaumburg. Evansville now 4 games back of first place Gateway and just 2 games back of second place Schaumburg, comfortably sitting in playoff position. Otters will try to continue their success against the WindyCity ThunderBolts. Thunderbolts 30-41 on the season. They've lost 9 of their last 13 and coming off being swept by Florence in dominant fashion. The Yawls outscored the Thunderbolts 22-2 over 3 games. The Thunderbolts were swept, but they've been very up and down. They've been much better at home. The Yawls, or the Thunderbolts, I should say, at home this season. Far more success. Only have 9 wins on the road, but Thunderbolts at home at 21-18. So winning record at home for the Thunderbolts. The Otters, though, in their first series defeated the Thunderbolts 2-3. That was back in early June, and the Otters 7-2 against the Thunderbolts this season. The only 2 wins for Windy City were both walk-offs for the Thunderbolts. 2 good pitching squads. The Otters the top ERA in the league, and Windy City one of the better starting rotations in the league, 8th best ERA in the Frontier League, and they'll be throwing their ace here at Crispin tonight. Time to meet the starting lineups first for the Evansville Otters, 40-31 on the season. Noah Myers is the Edward Jones leadoff batter and playing left field. Ethan Skinder bats second and plays shortstop. Dakota Phillips batting third and playing first base. Yomar Reyes is the cleanup batter at the hot corner at third. Kona Quiggle man center today and bats fifth. Josh Broughton bats sixth and plays right field. Bottom 3 in the Otters lineup: Brian Rosario, the DH, Justin Felix catching, and Austin Bose, the second baseman, rounding out the lineup for the Otters. The righty Zach Smith on the mound today for the Otters, 5-5 with a 3.54 ERA. Windy City, their starting lineup, they're 30-41 on the season under the director of former big leaguer Richie Sexton in his first season as manager. Paul Kumalos leads off for Windy City and plays left field. Junior Martina bats second and plays third base. Brent Spillane batting third and playing center field. Peyton Isaacson in the cleanup spot, DHing for the Thunderbolts. Mikey Unamine bats fifth and plays first base. Jake Boone batting sixth and playing second base. Bottom 3 in the T-Bolts lineup: Will Riley, the right fielder, Matt Morgan, the catcher, and the former Otter, Troy Viola, the shortstop, rounding out the lineup for the Thunderbolts. The ace on the bump tonight for the Thunderbolts. They have an excellent starting rotation, and they're throwing their best arm tonight. Garrett Crispin, 6-2 on the season with a sparkling 2.74 ERA. That's the 4th best ERA in the Frontier League. This is his 3rd time, though, pitching against the Otters. Evansville ended up winning both those games that Crispin started. Starting into a beautiful evening for baseball here on the south side. Temperatures at 78 degrees. A little bit of humidity, making it feel about 80, but not too strong. And not much wind, just 5 miles per hour blowing out to right field. It is a fantastic day for baseball and a pretty good crowd on a Tuesday night here at Ozinga Field, as the Otters making their 2nd trip of the season here to Chicago's south side, trying to take down the Thunderbolts for the 4th series out of 4. The Otters 7-2 against Windy City this year. If they win this series, get 2 or 3 wins, they will have their most wins ever against Windy City in a single season in the 18 years that these teams have faced off in the Frontier League. Managers meeting with the umpires right now around home plate as we're a few minutes away from first pitch. Kevin Worth is the crew chief at home plate today. Ben Gray at first, and Christopher Viverito is at third base. Those are The three-man Frontier League crew today here at Windy City. Sun is shining, few light clouds, beautiful day. Some fans celebrating a birthday, few picnics as well. And a good crowd on a Tuesday night for the Thunderbolts. Windy City, a weird week last week. They swept Lake Erie to start the week here at home, then went on the road and got swept, and the Otters felt like they had vice versa. Evansville lost 2 out of 3 to Florence in a disappointing series loss, but came back out and played arguably their best weekend of baseball all year, sweeping Schaumburg, 4th sweep of the season for the Otters, and the first time they had swept a team in playoff contention this year. Exactly a month left to go in the season. This starts a lot of road games to finish the month of the regular season. The Frontier League, the Otters playing 9 of their next 12 on the road. We will step aside for the national anthem. First pitch is on the other side. You're listening to Evansville Otters baseball on the Otters Digital Network and watching on Flow Sports.
Starting lineup for your WindyCity ThunderBolts. Thunderbolts lineup submitted by manager Richie Sexton. Leading off and playing left field number 9, Paul Kuhl. Batting second, third baseman number 4, Junior Martina. Batting third, center fielder number 24, Prince Delaney. Batting fourth, designated hitter number 15, Nathan Isaacson. Batting fifth, first baseman number 18, Micah Yaramine. Batting sixth, second baseman number 2, Jake Boone. Batting seventh, right fielder number 6, Will Riley. Batting eighth, catcher number 7, Matt Morgan. Batting ninth, shortstop number 25, Troy Viola. Tonight's starting pitcher is right-hander number 20, Derek Christman. And our fans, we ask you to please rise and face the flag in right field. Kindly remove your caps as we welcome Dylan Rhodes for the performance of the national anthem.
Dylan Rhodes singing tonight's national anthem here from Ozinga Field in Crestwood, Illinois on Chicago's south side. Beautiful day for baseballs. The Otters open up their first road series of the month of August. Quick 3-game road trip here against Windy City, and then the Otters home this weekend against the Washington Wild Things back at Bosse Field. Garrett Chrisman, the Thunderbolts ace, on the mound today facing the Otters. Boy, has he had an exceptional season. All-star pitcher, 27 years old, an Indiana native from Noblesville, Indiana, north of Indianapolis. 14 starts on the season, 2.67 ERA, is 5th best in the Frontier League. He's going to likely hit over 100 innings pitched on the season. He's at 95 1/3 innings pitched. That's 4th highest in the Frontier League. Contact pitcher, 62 strikeouts to just 18 walks and allowed just 3 home runs in those 95 innings pitched. His 3rd start against Evansville this season. He took the loss in his first outing against the Otters in May at Bosse. 5 innings pitched, allowed 4 earned on 6 hits, but walked 4 batters. His command was much better in July at Bosse Field, but he allowed 10 hits, tied for the most he's allowed in any outing all year. No decision, but the Otters would end up getting the victory. So Evansville has had some success against Chrisman, though very few of other teams have. Chrisman has not had a loss on his tab since early June. Thunderbolts ace, big 6'2", 210 righty on the right side of the rubber, ready to face Noah Myers. He kicks and comes home. Pitch misses low to Myers, and we're underway. Matt Morgan at catcher for Windy City. Mikey Onamine at first. Jake Boone at second. Trey Viola at short. As here's the pitch home. A strike on the outside corner, 1-1. Junior Martina at third. In the outfield for Windy City, Paul Kumalos in left. Brent Spillane in center. Will Riley in right. Pitch home. Sails high. 2 balls and 1 strike. Kick and delivery. Lined by Myers into left field, taking Paul Kumalos back at the warning track. Reaches up and makes the catch belt high. Myers gives it a ride down the line, 1 away in the top of the first. Brings up Ethan Skinder, the shortstop. Otters offense helping Evansville to a sweep over last weekend against Schaumburg. Otters had just 5 hits against the Boomers on Sunday, but 3 of them were solo home runs. First pitch home to the ready Skinder, outside for a ball, 1-0. Otters 5 straight games now with a home run. 1-0. Sails high, 2 balls and no strikes. Make it 4 straight games the Otters have with a home run. They had 3 on Sunday. Came from behind in all 3 games against Schaumburg to win. 2-0. Fouled straight back over my head and out of play. It wasn't an electric or explosive Otters offense over the weekend, but it was timely and clutch hitting from the Otters and winning 3 close games and all come from behind fashion. 2-1, fouled away by Skinder again, 2-2. Facing a tough pitcher in Chrisman. Certainly going to need some timely hitting here today. A solid Thunderbolts pitching staff. Offensively, the T-Bolts have really struggled all year. 2-2 home. The pitch popped up high in the air down the left field line and out of play. All artificial turf field here at Ozinga Field, from the mound to foul territory to the warning track. It is very much a pitcher's ballpark. 330 down the left field and right field lines. Pitch home. Skinder strokes one into left field. Long run in for Paul Kumalos, sliding and making the catch with his glove just above the turf. Pretty play by Paul Kumalos in left, sliding down and making the catch with his glove on the turf. 2 flyouts to left to start for the Otters. 2 outs and nobody on, and it brings up the lefty Dakota Phillips. 325 down the lines here at Ozinga Field. 375 to the gaps. Pitch home to Phillips, misses outside 1-0. And 400 to straightaway dead center. And it's not a place either where the ball carries much. 1-0. On the outside corner is strike 1-1. It's not a surprise the Thunderbolts rank last in the league in home runs hit, but also ranked best in the league in least amount of home runs given up on the year. The 1-1 fouled off the screen. 1 ball and 2 strikes. Today, a warm day, but not super hot, so the ball's not going to carry an extreme amount. The wind is just a very light breeze out to right field. 1-2 coming to Phillips. The pitch, high, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Wind, throw home, fouled straight back, and Phillips stays alive. 2 outs and nobody on in the top of the first. No score between the Otters and the T-Bolts. Outfield straight away, staring into the sun on this beautiful Tuesday evening. Payoff home, swung on and lined down the right field line and caught by Maka Yonamine. The first baseman stretching out the glove and making a pretty play. What defense by the Thunderbolts in the top of the first. The Otters go down in order. Bottom of the first inning on the other side. No score on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Bottom of the first inning from Ozinga Field. No score between the Thunderbolts and the Otters. Zach Smith on the bump for Evansville on this Tuesday evening from Ozinga Field. Second-year Otter from Katy, Texas, 6'2", 200 on the mound. Has had a really solid season for Evansville. 5-5, but the record doesn't reflect his other numbers. 3.54 ERA on the season. His batting average against it's just .219. And he's thrown 8 quality starts on the season. Smith does not have a win on the road, though, this year. 0-3 on the road. He's not gone to much run support throughout much of the season, but pitched well in his last outing, and it was, again, another story of not getting much run support. He went 6 excellent innings, allowed just 1 run, which was not earned, only 2 hits. He did walk 5 batters, but ended up getting handed the loss as the Otters would not score until the 9th inning. That was last Wednesday against Florence. Around him on the diamond, Justin Felix the catcher, Dakota Phillips at first, Austin Boast at second, Ethan Skinder at short, and Yomar Reyes at third base. In the outfield, Noah Myers in left, Kona Quiggle in center, and Josh Brodden manning right field today for Evansville. While Kumulos, lefty left fielder, digs into the batter's box to face Zach Smith. A wind and a throw home. Outside, 1-0. Otters and road grays today with Evansville written in blue script across the chest, blue numerals on the back, blue hat with a gray brim and the gray E on the front. Dark blue socks for Smith with the gray pants tucked just below the knees. 1-0, popped up out of play, 1 ball and 1 strike. Thunderbolts in all whites today, blue numerals on the back, Thunderbolts written in blue script across the chest with the numeral below it. Blue helmets, blue belts, and all white pants with no piping. Smith just above the belt, kicks and delivers. Outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Kona Quiggle in center, shaded a few strides towards the third base line. As here comes the 2-1. Popped up into center field. Quiggle coming in a few steps, fighting the sun, reaches up the glove and makes the catch. 1 away. Justin Felix behind home plate today for the Otters, catching Zach Smith for the 2nd straight start. Felix was the catcher in Smith's loss to Florence last Wednesday. That pitcher-catcher battery powered by the Answer Auto Repair East. Find all your battery needs at the Answer Auto Repair East, located at 2319 North Green River Road, or call at 812-475-9000. Junior Martina, righty batter, digs in, swings at the first pitch, grounds it right side, past Phillips and into right field, a base hit for Martina. Not hit hard off the bat of Martina, but into the right spot through the 4-3 hole and relayed in by Brodden right. So The first base runner for either team on a base hit by Martina. With one out, it brings up the center fielder, ready batter Brent Spillane. Smith on the far right side of the rubber, black glove set at the chest. Delivers home. Swung on and hammered high in the air to center field. Kona Quiggle back at the warning track, leaps, it's gone! Off the batter's eye in center field, Brent Spillane, a 2-run blast, and the Thunderbolts take a 2-0 lead. The 11th home run of the season for Brent Spillane, and that one was crushed to dead away center. You heard it off the bat. It sounded good. It looked good. 414 feet, soaring over the center field wall and off the batter's eye. You have to hit it good for it to leave the ballpark here at Ozinga Field, and boy, did Spillane do that. So 2-0 Thunderbolts with one out, and it brings up Peyton Isaacson, the DH. Lefty takes a first pitch low for a ball. Spillane, really the only power bat on the Thunderbolts with his 11th homer of the season. 1-0 by Isaacson is fouled away, 1-1. 2-0 to Isaacson. The pitch inside. 3 balls and no strikes to Isaacson. 1 out, nobody on in the bottom of the first inning. A 2-0 lead for the Thunderbolts on a Brent Spillane 2-run home run. Smith sets and throws. Low. And that's ball number 3. So now 3 balls and 1 strike to Isaacson. Smith's last start against Windy City the day before the All-Star break, he only allowed 3 hits, but all of them were home runs. 3-1. Outside for ball 4. Isaacson tosses his bat up in the air towards the Thunderbolts dugout and takes his base at first. A walk to Isaacson, 1 on and 1 out, and brings up Mikey Yonamine, the first baseman. It was a weird start for Smith. It felt like he pitched really well, but the Thunderbolts, who hit the least amount of home runs in the league, hit 3 home runs off Smith, the guy that doesn't give up many home runs. And oddly, it's happened to already today as Mikey Yonamine takes the first pitch outside for a ball. Smith has only allowed 7 home runs on the season, and now 4 of them have come against Windy City. 1-0 home. Check swing, a pitch outside the left-handed batter's box. Good stop by Felix. 2 balls and no strikes. Infield is in the shadows with most of the outfield in the sunshine. 2-0, fouled away down the right field line and out of play. Good crowd for a Tuesday night here at Ozinga Field. It's a ballpark built well in the sense that it makes it feel probably a little more full than it is, with only 5 rows of seats in the lower bowl, but stretching almost all the way down both lines. 2-1. Outside, 3 balls and 1 strike. An upper deck down the left field line is about another 15 rows. Let's see, it's just over 3,000. 3,200 to be exact. Probably well over 1,000 this evening. 3-1 as Isaacson takes off, but Yonamine fouls it straight back. And a full count. A tough first inning to start for Zach Smith. A 2-run home run by Spillane. A walk to Isaacson. Still only 1 out, and now a full count to Yonamine. Smith on the right side of the rubber, nods and delivers. Swung on and stroked into left field, racing over Miles will play it on 1 hop. Yonamine safe at first, Isaacson down to second, and there's 2 on for the Thunderbolts. with still only one out. Another hard hit ball off the bat for the T-Bolts. Bring up Jake Boone, the second baseman. Isaacson at second. Yonamine at first. With one out in the inning. 4 straight Thunderbolts have reached. Eddie's second baseman waggling a beige bat over his right shoulder. Pitch home from Smith. Slider on the outside corner, called a strike, 0-1. Second baseman Boast is shaded over behind the second base bag. The first baseman Phillips a few steps behind Yonamine at first. 0-1. Pitch sails outside. Another slider for Smith. A lot of sliders early. 1-1. 2-0 Thunderbolts lead. Quick start for Windy City, trying to erase bad memories from the weekend as they were swept to Florence. 1-1. Outside again. 2 balls and 1 strike. Smith has struggled with his command. His last 2 outings combined, 9 walks. 5 against Florence last week and 4 the week before at Lake Erie. 2-1 home. Popped up off the inside of the bat, down the first baseline. Phillips at the Otters dugout. It lands over the netting and into the first row. Three hits and a walk here in the first for Windy City. Smith has fallen behind a few batters in this first inning. This will be his 18th pitch of the inning. Takes a big deep breath on the bump, peeks back at second base, and delivers. Chopped off the end of the bat and rolling foul down the third base line. Windy City scored just 2 runs against Florence over the weekend. They were just bludgeoned in every game. Lost 11-0 on Sunday, 6-1 on Saturday, and 9-1 on Friday. A series to put behind them. 2-2. Swung on and hit high in the air to left field, taking Myers back at the warning track, reaches up the glove and makes the running snare. What a catch by Myers. He'll relay it back in as Isaacson tags to third. Noah Myers. Wow. What a play, reaching up the glove, leaping catch at the warning track, and then softly running into the Raising Cane sign down the left field line. Or down the in center left, I should say. Athletic play by Myers, much needed second out in the inning for the Otters. 2 away, runners on the corners, and the lefty Will Riley, the right fielder, stands in. 2-0 Thunderbolts lead in the bottom of the first. Smith home. Pitch outside, 1 ball and no strikes. Isaacson at third, Yonamine at first. Pitch home. Low, and a good stop by Felix. Another slider in the dirt. Working across the plate from the third base line towards the first base line. Smith grabs the rosin back behind the all-artificial turf mound and steps back up on the rubber. Shakes off a sign from Felix. Now comes Seth. And delivers. Right down the middle for a strike. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Last 3 starts on the road for Zach Smith, dating back to the beginning of July. He's lost all 3. Pitch home. Chopped foul down the right field line, bouncing in front of the screen in front of the Otters dugout. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two 2-0 Thunderbolts lead in the bottom of the first. 2-2. Low and a full count to Riley. only allowed 2 hits against Florence last Wednesday, though we did walk 5, but he's already allowed more hits today here in the first inning. 3 hits against the Thunderbolts. Payoff pitch home, runner goes, and it's fouled straight back. Bouncing off the roof above the press box. You can hear the ball rolling around above us. The Otters are to keep the win streak going, make it 4 in a row. They'll need to come from behind again. All 3 wins against Schaumburg over the weekend, and the Otters sweep. They came from behind in all 3 games. Schaumburg took the lead early in all 3. Another payoff home and fouled off the screen. Not something that the Otters have done that much this season. Only 11 of their 40 wins this year have they trailed at any point. Smith comes home. Low for ball 4. That'll load the bases for Windy City. Already 30 pitches here in the first inning for Zach Smith. Isaacson to third, Yonamine to second, and Riley at first. Matt Morgan coming to the plate, and Max Peterson, the Otters pitching coach, coming to the mound to chat with Smith and the rest of the Otters infield. Well, Smith has not been as sharp of late, especially on the road, but this, especially such a rough start to start the game for Smith, feels unparalleled. A 2-run home run by Spillane started the scoring for Windy City. 2 walks and a base hit have followed. The only out in the middle was a really hard hit ball by Boone that Myers made a great catch on and left. So the meeting concludes. Smith back on the rubber, and the first pitch home to Matt Morgan. The righty takes it on the outside corner of strike. Starting catcher tonight for the Thunderbolts, only hitting .169 on the year in 51 games. No batting gloves tonight for the ready catcher from Thorsby, Alabama. A 1 home. Swung on and hit into the center field, a base hit. 1 run will score. Yonamine sent from third. The throw is cut off by Phillips at the mound, and it is 4-0 Thunderbolts. Matt Morgan, an RBI base hit up the middle, easily scores. Isaacson, Quiggle got to the ball in center, but Yonamine easily scored with the ball cut off around the rubber. The 4th hit of the first gives the Thunderbolts a 4-0 lead. Troy Viola will be the 9th batter of the inning here for the Thunderbolts. Riley at second, Matt Morgan at first. Ready batter Viola. Smith home, Viola takes outside, 1-0. 4 singles, a 2-run home run by Spillane, and 2 walks put together a 4-run inning for Windy City. Only in 2 of the 14 starts this year for Smith has he allowed more than 4 runs. 1 out. Sails high, 2 balls and no strikes. Frustrated looking Smith looks out towards right field, and a frustrated look on his face. It's a big deep breath on the mound, trying to escape this first inning without further damage. 4 across for the Thunderbolts. 2-0. Swing and a miss. Beautiful slider by Smith falling out of the zone. 2-1 to Viola. Fourth start for Smith against Windy City. It's 2-0, and the Otters have won the first 3 games that Smith has started. 2-1. Swung on and popped up into shallow right field. Josh Broughton a few steps in, reaches up the glove and makes the catch. Chest high. 4 runs for Windy City in the first inning. They send all 9 batters around take an early 4-0 lead after one from Ozinga Field on the Otters Digital Network. Four to nothing lead for Windy City over Evansville after a one-inning play in the series opener from Ozinga Field, fourth and final series between these two this year. Otters and Thunderbolts have gotten to know each other quite well. They've played one series each month. The Otters have won the first three series, including a sweep over Windy City. The last series between these two right before the All-Star break. But it's the Thunderbolts scoring 4 in the bottom of the first to take an early lead over Evansville. Yomar Reyes will lead off the top of the second for the Otters. First pitch home, where Griffin is in for a strike. Griffin sent the Otters down in order in the top of the first. Pitch home, Reyes swings and lines one into left center field, down for a base hit. Two hopping in front of Kumalos. Reyes a big turnaround first. Will halt there as it's relayed in. And base hit for Yomar Reyes to lead off the second inning for the Otters. That's a really good sign for Evansville. Reyes, over his last 7 games entering today, just 2 of 30. He starts off this new week with a base hit. Kona Quiggle, lefty center fielder, digs in, batting 5th today for the Otters. First pitch home. A pitch on the outside corner called a strike, 0-1. Otters quickly behind 4 runs and facing Windy City's ace pitcher, Chrisman, tonight. He's at the belts and delivers. Swing and a miss. Fastball up in the zone. Quiggle hitting .263 on the season. Had his 5th home run since the All-Star break. The go-ahead solo home run for the Otters on Sunday against Schaumburg. 0-2 home. Outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. Nine home runs now on the season for Quiggle, but 5 of them since the All-Star break. He's really found his pop over the last 3 weeks. 1-2 is ripped foul right off the camera well down the right field line and bouncing all the way into right field, where the Otters bullpen is set up with some folding chairs down the right field line. And John Beamer runs out to grab it and toss it back into the Otters' pen. Another 1-2 in the dirt. Good stop by Morgan, moving over to his right to keep it in front of him. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Reyes at first with nobody out in the top of the second. A 4-run first inning for Windy City to take an early lead. 2-2. Popped up by Quiggle and out of play. Well, the Otters in their sweep of Windy City back in July, they came from behind in all 3 of those wins as well. 2-2. Popped up by Quiggle into left field. Coming in is Paul Kumalos. Reaches up the glove and makes the catch. 1 away. Something the Otters will try to do again now here at Ozinga Field. The Windy City's only 2 wins in the 9 games these teams have played are both on walk-offs. A walk-off at Bosse Field in sudden death. The Thunderbolts won the middle game of that series, and then Windy City won the second game of a doubleheader here at Ozinga Field back in June. Josh Braunready takes inside for a ball, 1-0. That was a walk-off in the second game of the doubleheader that was just 7 innings. So they walked off in the 7th inning. Those are the Thunderbolts' only 2 wins. 1-0 inside, 2 balls and no strikes. Otters have really dominated this season series this year. Feels like in some ways these teams are somewhat similar. Really strong starting rotations, confident in their bullpens. 2-0. Outside, 3 balls and no strikes. But the Otters far more consistent offensively. The Thunderbolts have been horrible on the road, just 9 wins on the road this year. Otters have been much better on the road, just below 500. 3-0 on the outside corner, 3 balls and 1 strike. While the Otters doesn't feel like they have a ton of power, they've shown a lot of pop since the All-Star break, and at times have been an explosive offense, if not sporadic. 3-1. Swung on and hit hard to second base. 1 off field by Boone. Throws to second. Back to first in time. Double play. 4-6-3 double play. My goodness, the Thunderbolts fielding with their hair on fire to start this game. Boone fielding it off one top off, spinning around, throwing to Viola at second and back to first to beat Braun. Andy McCauley, the Otters manager, out to disagree with the first base umpire, Ben Gray, but the inning is over for the Otters on the 4-6-3 double play. Middle of the second, 4-0 Thunderbolts on the Otters Digital Network. Bottom second from Ozinga Field. Windy City off to a quick start on this Tuesday evening as they lead Evansville 4-0. Griffin Epstein here on the Otters Digital Network. We're simulcast as well on Flow Sports throughout the week. Big thanks to the excellent Thunderbolts production crew led by the communications director Terry Bonadonna. Top of the order for Windy City here in the second. Paul Kumalos leads off. Lefty batter stands in and takes a first pitch strike. Thunderbolts sent all 9 batters to the plate in the first inning to score 4 runs. 2 walks, 3 singles, and a 2-run home run by Spillane, putting 4 up for Windy City in the first. The 0-1 is grounded down the first baseline, skips off the mound, hits off the glove of Phillips. He throws back to Smith, not in time. Andy McCauley is not happy again. He's back out to argue with first base umpire Ben Gray. These two were talking only about a minute ago about the called in the 4-6-3 inning-ending double play in the top of the second inning that went the Thunderbolts' way. The ball hit right off the top of the first base bag. It looked like it would be a routine ground out to the first baseman Phillips, but it hit right off top of the bag, hit a really high hop over Phillips' head, and then it skipped out of his glove for a second. And by the time he got it to Smith, I don't think Smith was able to get to the bag in time to beat Kumalos, though. McCauley And the Otters certainly don't see it that way. An infield base hit for Kumalos with an assist from the first base bag. Already the 5th hit of the day for Windy City, and it brings up Junior Martina. Pitch to the righty, misses in the turf, 1-0. T-Bolts 4, Otters nothing. Top of the second inning, or bottom of the second inning, make it from Ozinga Field. One. Swing and a miss. Martina down to a knee, chasing a breaking ball, 1-2. One, two. In the turf, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Martina. Just a beautiful day for baseball here. There's almost no clouds now in the late Tuesday evening sky. It's in the upper 70s. There's not much humidity, not much wind. I mean, you can't ask for a much better night in August than this. 2-2 is chopped off the top of the bat, left side, fielded by Skinder. He'll toss the second for the force out, and Boast steps on the bag to beat Kumalos, 1 away. A softly hit ball that took Skinder way to his left, almost onto the edge of the green turf. Just gets the force out at second. Martina trades places with Kumalos at first on the 6-4 fielder's choice. Brings up Brent Spillane, the big righty, at a 415-foot blast off Zach Smith back in the first. Bounced off the batter's eye and straightaway center. First pitch missed outside to Spillane, 1-0. Home. On the outside corner, a strike. 1 ball and 1 strike. Zach Smith at 44 pitches here in just the second inning. One. This is low. 2 balls and 1 strike to Spillane. Otters trying to win their 4th in a row, coming off a sweep of Schaumburg. Thunderbolts were swept on the road at Florence. 2 teams coming into the week in very different places. 2-1 home. Popped up off the end of the bat down the right field line. Phillips on the brown turf, reaches up the glove against the wall and makes the catch as he bounces in to the high green bouncy wall down the right field line. Tough play for Phillips. Squeezed up against the wall. Had to bounce into it to hold on to the baseball. First baseman makes a nice catch in foul ground. 2 away in the inning with Martina still at first. It brings up the lefty DH Peyton Isaacson. All the infield in shadows here at Ozinga Field. First pitch home to Isaacson, misses low for a ball, 1-0. Only center and right still in the sunshine. Quiggle and Braun looking into the sun. Shadows pretty quickly descend here at Ozinga Field. Lights are on, but not to any effect as Smith steps off and tosses back to first. Martina back in safely ahead of attack. Pitch home is chopped foul by Isaacson right into the Otters dugout. Bounces off the back wall, and Jake Green's gonna go pick it up. 1 ball and 1 strike to Isaacson. 1 on and 2 outs in the bottom of the second. 4-0 lead for the T-Bolts. 1-1. Outside, 2 balls and 1 strike to Isaacson. Windy City has won 4 games in a row here at home. Swept Lake Erie to start last week, won the series finale against Ottawa. The Otters, on the other hand, have dropped 4 straight road series. 2-1. On the outside corner is strike, and a breaking ball, 2-2 to Isaacson. Otters have lost 9 of their last 12 on the road. Getting back to early July. 2-2 is sliced left side, reaching up the glove. The shortstop Skinder makes the catch. Skinder at the right spot at the right time. That retires the Sky. A scoreless second for Zach Smith. 2 complete, 4-0 Thunderbolts over the Otters on the Evansville Otters Digital Network. Two innings complete from Chicago's south side, Ozinga Field. The series opener between the Otters and the Thunderbolts. Windy City leads Evansville 4-0 on a 4-run first inning for the Thunderbolts. Otters so far just one base runner against the Thunderbolts ace Garrett Crispin, a leadoff base hit by Yomar Reyes in the second inning. Bottom 3 coming up for the Otters in the top of the third inning. Brian Rosario, the DH, leads off for Evansville. Switch hitter batting lefty. Garrett Crispin ready on the right side of the rubber. Kicks and delivers. Fastball on the outside corner, a strike. 0-1 to Rosario. Crispin throws. Rosario lines one down the left field line, hooking foul. Bouncing into the party deck, just to the left of the left field foul pole. Crispin is a very quick worker, and Rosario will slow him down and call time and reset the batting gloves. 248 batting average for Rosie on the season. He has a 20 game on base streak going all the way back to June 25th. 0-2. On the inside corner, strike 3 called. Rosario rung up looking, one away. Want to make your lawn and landscape look like a field of dreams? Make sure you use 10 Bars Professional brand products. Pick them up at any of our 3 locations, beautifying the communities we live in and the grass we walk and play on, all since 1940. One away, nobody on for Justin Felix. A first strikeout for Crispin. Doesn't throw it particularly hard as he fires home to Felix. First pitch misses inside, 1-0. Fastball just barely touches 90 miles per hour. Doesn't strike out a lot of guys, but just incredibly efficient. 1-0 on the outside corner, a strike, 1-1. Fourth in the Frontier League in ERA at 2.67. Only has 2 losses all year. Extremely steady guy that never gets rattled. 1-1. Popped up by Felix and out of play, 1-2. Hasn't been tabbed for a loss since early June. That's how good Crispin has been. Thunderbolts have lost some of those games, but he was marked with the no decision. To go back to June 17th, the last time that Crispin was handled a loss, and in that outing he didn't allow any earned runs. That's how good he's been. Pitch home is chopped foul. It stays 1-2 to Felix. Only one outing all season has Crispin allowed more than 4 runs. 4 earned runs. Pitch home, swing and a miss. Felix down on strikes. 2 away, a breaking ball down in the turf. 2 strikeouts for Chrisman to start the third. Well, the Otters had to feel more confident going up against Chrisman this evening. The 2 games for the Otters, they've put up 4 and 5 runs against Chrisman. Those are 2 of the only 3 times all year Chrisman has allowed more than 3 runs in a game. 2 of those against the Otters, and the other was against Gateway at the Grizzlies' place, which is one of the tougher ballparks to pitch in, probably the toughest in the Frontier League West. Austin Boast stands in for the Otters and takes a first pitch strike at the letters. Chrisman rolling so far tonight. 2 outs, nobody on in the third. Pitch home. Boast swings and lines one into center field, taking Spillane back, jogging backwards, and making the catch at the edge of the warning track. Hard hit ball by Boast, but the Otters go down in order in the third. Middle of the third, 4-0 Thunderbolts over the Otters on the Evansville Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Bottom of the third inning, 4-0. Windy City leads Evansville in the series opener from Ozinga Field. A lovely Saturday evening. It's Tuesday. It's a good crowd, though, for a Tuesday night here at Ozinga Field. Lively atmosphere, and they've watched their Thunderbolts get out to a 4-0 lead. 4 runs in the first inning for Windy City. They're looking for more here in the bottom of the third against the Otters righty Zach Smith. Pitched a scoreless second as the righty comes home to Mikey Yonamine. Pitch misses low in the turf, 1-0. Smith's been so resilient all year for the Otters. Has pitched in some really tough situations in terms of travel. 1-0. On the outside corner, a strike 1-1. Hasn't been handed many favors. The Otters have given him very little run support on the season. For whatever reason, it's just when Smith starts, the Otters don't seem to produce much offense. 1-1. Breaking ball outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. 3 of the 5 losses on the season for Smith, the Otters were shut out in. 2-1. Chopped off the end of the bat, 2-2. And the only game where the Otters, or the last game I should say, Smith pitched on Wednesday against Florence. The Otters were shut out until the 9th inning. In the game, Smith did not allow an earned run in, but ended up still being handed the loss. 2-2. Swing and a miss. Yonamine strikes out on a fastball up. 1 away in the bottom of the third. It's the first German-American bank strikeout for Zach Smith on this Tuesday night. 1 out in the bottom of the third, and it brings up the second baseman, Jake Boone. "4-0, Windy City leads Evansville. Smith home. Breaking ball outside, 1-0. Time for a check of the Frontier League standings, brought to you by Seal Corp, entering the final month of the regular season. There's 4 weeks left, counting this week. The 1-0, swing and a miss, 1-1. Most teams have 6 games over the next 4 weeks. That amounts to 24 games left. The Otters with 25 left, 1-1. Misses in the turf, 2 balls and 1 strike. Evansville will play a doubleheader against Gateway Wednesday of the final week of this season, making up for a rain out earlier in the season at Bossy Field. Evansville sits 4 games back of first place Gateway entering the night, and 2 games back of Schaumburg. 2-1, misses low, 3 balls and 1 strike. So the Otters sitting in 3rd place. They're 2 back of 2nd and 4 back of first place Gateway. Washington is chasing the Otters for that last playoff spot. They're 11.5 games back of first and 7.5 back of the Otters. 3-1 home, outside for ball 4. A walk to Jake Boone. Puts 1 on with 1 out for Windy City in the bottom of the 3rd. That's the 3rd walk for Smith of the evening. That brings up Will Riley, the right fielder. Riley walked back in the 1st inning. Right fielder batting lefty. Thunderbolts lead 4-0 here in the bottom of the 3rd. Smith's pitch home to the lefty. Swing and a miss. 0-1. In the East, it's been back and forth between 3 teams, but they've all really separated themselves. New Jersey, Tri-City, and Quebec have all been in first place in the last week. Here's the 0-1 home. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Entering the day, the Jackals with a half-game lead up over Tri-City, and a game up on Quebec for 3rd. New York, Sussex County, and Ottawa still all hanging around in playoff position. The Boulders the closest team back, 4 games back of Quebec for the final playoff spot entering the week. 1-1. At the knees for a strike, 1-2 to Riley. Windy City enters today 30-41. They sit in 7th place in the West. And 14 games back of first, 10 games back of the playoffs. Thunderbolts have the longest playoff drought in Frontier League history. 1-2 is swung on and driven down the left field line. Racing over is Myers, and out of his reach, bouncing foul. 2 steps into the Windy City bullpen to the left of the left field foul line. Myers is gonna go make a kid's day and toss it up into the party deck where some kids are enjoying their evening. 1-2 count to Riley with 1 on and 1 out in the bottom of the 3rd. 4-0 lead for Windy City. Riley's gonna call time and reset the batting gloves. One, 2. Popped up, left side. Myers drifting over towards the foul line under the baseball, makes the catch. 2 away. 2 outs, Boone still at first as it brings up Matt Morgan, the catcher. 4-0 Windy City leads in the bottom of the 3rd. So Gateway 2 games up in the West, New Jersey a half game up in the East. Those are your Frontier League standings, brought to you by Seal Corp. Into the final 4 weeks of the regular season. Smith home to Matt Morgan, fouled off the inside of the bat, 0-1. Jake Boone at first with Dakota Phillips covering the bag at first base. The second baseman Bose shaded a few strides to his left. 0-1 coming to Morgan. Smith at the chest, winds and delivers. Swing and a miss, slider outside. Felix will toss it back down to first base where Boone is in safely under a Phillips tag. Whole field now in the shadows. The sun bouncing off the Ozinga Field scoreboard out and right. What a beautiful day. 0-2. Swing and a miss. What a pitch by Smith. Slider tumbling out of the zone at 78 miles per hour to strike out Morgan and retire the side. That's back-to-back innings scoreless for Zach Smith, and we're through 3 on a Tuesday night. It's 4-0 Windy City over Evansville on the Evansville Otters digital network. Three innings complete from Ozinga Field, 4-0. Evansville trails Windy City as we go to the top of the 4th inning. Top of the lineup, and Noah Myers will lead things off for Evansville in the top of the 4th. 4-run first inning for the T-Bolts. Myers takes a first pitch strike on a breaking ball from Garrett Chrisman. Chrisman has faced the minimum so far today. The 0-1 misses outside 1-1. Yomar Reyes had a leadoff base hit in the second, but a 4-6-3 inning-ending double play. At that, Chrisman has only faced 9 for the first 3 as Myers lofts one into left field through for a base hit. Relayed in by Koumalos and cut off by Viola. It's a leadoff hit for Myers in the 4th. The Otters have their second base runner of the day. 1 on, nobody out, and it brings up the ready Ethan Skinder. 4-0 Windy City leads in the top of the 4th. Batting righty Skinder, Illinois native from Metamora, outside of Peoria. Pitch home. On the outside corner, a strike, 0-1. So Ethan's dad is in attendance today. Ethan was chatting with him while he was stretching before the game. Only about an hour and a half or so away from his hometown. Pitch home. Swung on and driven high in the air to right field. Riley back at the warning track, reaches up and makes the catch. Balls just don't carry out of Ozinga Field much. Skinder made really hard contact, but that ball just died as it got towards the track. 1 away. And it brings up Dakota Phillips, the lefty batter, with Myers still at first. Chrisman steps off, fires back to first. Myers dives in safely under attack. Lefty batting Dakota Phillips, hitting .262 on the season. Pitch home. Phillips takes low, 1-0. Chrisman at the belt, black glove waiting there, kicks and delivers. Phillips flies it left side, out of play. Couple Otters, including the 2 guys for Evansville at the plate in Dakota Phillips and Noah Myers on base. We're both here for the Frontier League All-Star game last month, hosted here at Ozinga Field. 6 Otters that made the trip here to Crestwood. 1-1. Swung on and softly grounded to the shortstop. Viola tossed to second base, over to first, in time, double play. 6-4-3 double play. Viola the shove to Boone at second. The throw across the diamond to Yonamine to beat Phillips by a stride down the line. The second inning-ending double play for Windy City. We move to the middle of the fourth. 4-0 Thunderbolts over the Otters on the Evansville Otters Digital Network. Bottom of the fourth from Ozinga Field, 4-0. Windy City over Evansville. A 4-run first inning for the Thunderbolts, and the Otters offense has been quiet so far against Windy City's ace Garrett Chrisman. Troy Viola, former Otter, will lead things off for Windy City in the bottom of the fourth then. Zach Smith on the right side of the rubber, dark blue socks, comes home. First pitch inside for a ball, 1-0. Viola in his 38th game as a Thunderbolt after playing the first 15 games as an Otter. 1-0 on the outside corner, a strike. 1-1 strike to Viola. At 10 hits over 15 games with the Otters. He's had more success offensively here in Crestwood. 1-1. Swung on and hit hard to the right side, right to the second baseman. Bose gloves it, tosses to first in time to beat a sprinting Viola. 1 away. Hey, Evansville Otter fans, 2023 brings new opportunities to catch all the latest Frontier League action. Be sure and check out the Frontier League and your Evansville Otters on Flow Sports, the official streaming partner of the Frontier League. Never miss a game and fall along all the way to the championship. Just visit EvansvilleOtters.com for links to watch and subscribe today for all Frontier League and Flow Sports content. Paul Kumulos, lefty batter, digs in, takes a first pitch outside for a ball. 4-0, Windy City leads in the bottom of the fourth inning. Lights are on and just starting to come into effect as the sun has disappeared over the western horizon. 1-0 outside, 2 balls and no strikes. There's a good crowd today, and it's always fun. There's always people celebrating their birthday at the ballpark. Popular birthday activity. 2-0. Outside again. 3 balls and no strikes to Kumulos. There's someone here celebrating their 5th birthday, a 5-year-old. A 13-year-old, his first day as a teenager, threw out the first pitch. The 3-0. Right down the middle. 3 balls and 1 strike to Kumulos. And there's someone celebrating their 101st birthday here at the ballpark. How about that? So as folks of all ages, no matter young or old, you can enjoy celebrating your birthday at the ballgame. Now, unfortunately, for someone like me that has a winter birthday, I've never enjoyed my birthday at a baseball game because you can't play much baseball in December. 3-1 is popped up and out of play. Maybe I should go join George Khalil in Australia for the winter, and then I could enjoy my birthday at an Australian baseball game. Go down to Mexico or Venezuela for one of their winter leagues. That would have to be where I could celebrate my birthday at a baseball game. The payoff pitch is swung on and popped up down the left field line. Bounces foul along the brown warning track in front of the T-Bolts bullpen. Another payoff pitch home. Check swing and a ball on the dirt. Appeal to third. Cumulos held up. Walk number 4 of the day for Zach Smith. 1 on and 1 out, and it brings up Junior Martina, the third baseman. Smith has now walked 13 batters over his last 3 starts. Not something that was a huge issue early in the season, though we had a couple of starts where he didn't walk 5 in the first 2 months, but it's becoming a trend now over his last few starts as the ready Junior Martina takes outside for a ball. Ready making his 15th start of the season for Evansville. 1-0. Swung on and ripped up the middle through for a base hit. Only to Quiggle in center, who will toss it in. A hard hit knock off the bat of Martina. 104 miles per hour off the bat. Hit number 6 for Windy City. Still only here in the 4th. There's 2 on for the T-Bolts with 1 out. And Brent Spillane, the center fielder, comes to the plate. Ready batter at a 2-run home run for Windy City back in the 1st. Part of a 4-run first inning for Windy City. Smith delivers home. A strike on the outside corner on a slider. .81 pitches here for Zach Smith in just the 4th. 0-1. Bases low, 1 ball and 1 strike. It's always another problem with command. Even if you work out of the trouble, walks and walks are just going to work up your pitch count a lot because you're throwing so many pitches to batters. One home. Swung on and chopped up the middle. Diving is Skinder off his glove and bouncing into center field. Hustling around is Cumulos to score. Down into second goes Spillane. He is safe under the tag. 5-0 Windy City. A tough hop off the turf for Skinder. Hit off the top of his glove. Bounced over his shoulder into center field. Cumulos easily scored from second. Martina going first to third. Quiggle finally got to the ball in shallow center. Tried to throw back to Skinder to catch Spillane, but good base running by the T-Bolt center fielder Spillane to make it in safely just under the tag. So runners at second and third with still only 1 out. First pitch swung on by Isaacson, chop right to Dakota Phillips at first. They'll step on the bag there. Martina will score from third without a throw, and the T-Bolts have another run. 6-0 now Windy City. 2 across here in the 4th and 2 outs in the end. Going to give an air to Skinder on that pass play off the bat of Spillane as Mikey Onamine, ready batter, takes outside. So an E6, the bat of Spillane allowing him to go to second. Both runs now coming across unearned to Zach Smith here in the 4th. 1-0. Low, 2 balls and no strikes to Yonami. Spillane at third. He advances second and third on the ground out to the right side to Phillips. 4 in the first and now 2 here in the fourth for Windy City. Take a 6-0 lead. 2-0 home. Inside, and it hits Yonamine on the back. Turned around to it, and it hit right in between the 1 and the 8 on his backside. First batter that Smith has hit of the day. Runners on the corners with 2 outs for Jake Boone. 0 for 1 on the day and walked back in the 3rd inning for the T-Bolts. Smith on the right side of the rubber delivers home. Pitch low, 1-0. Windy City has put together 6 hits with 4 walks by Smith, 1 hit batter, and 1 error. Put up 6 runs on Evansville. 1-0 home. Breaking ball at the letters is strike 1-1. The Otters did not allow more than 5 runs in any game last week. Already 6 across here for Windy City in the first game of the week on the road. One and 1. Swung on and popped up high in the air into center field. Kona Quiggle, the center fielder, jogging back, reaches up the glove and makes the catch on the edge of the warning track. That retires the side in the 4th. 2 unearned runs come across for Windy City, and they lead 6-0 after 4 innings played on the Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Top 5 from Ozinga Field. Thunderbolts lead the Otters 6-0. Omar Reyes leads off for the Otters and takes a first pitch strike right down the middle. Garrett Chrisman sizes his shoulders and delivers for Windy City inside. 1 ball and 1 strike. That's the 50th pitch of the evening for the Thunderbolts ace. And he's faced the minimum now through 4 innings as Reyes hops one, fouls one, I should say, off the back of his white cleats. White shoes for Yomar this evening. I also found out before the game that he's a big fan of the Seattle Kraken of the National Hockey League. 1-2. Inside, nearly hit him in the hands. Reyes backs out of the way 2-2. He was wearing a Seattle Kraken headband to prop up his hair during BP. The 2-2, swing and a miss. And Reyes strikes out. So one away brings up Kona Quiggle. Reyes back to the dugout. He told me, though, that he enjoyed some hockey sometimes, and I got to thinking that Yomar would actually be a pretty good hockey player. I'm guessing growing up in the Dominican Republic, there weren't a whole lot of ice rinks around, but at 6'4", 240, he could be a pretty mean defenseman on the rink. Quiggle takes a first pitch strike on the inner third. Here comes the 0-1. Swing and a miss, 0-2. 1 out, nobody on in the top of the 5th inning, and a 6-0 lead for the Thunderbolts. Quiggle's going to call time. Chrisman works so quickly on the bump, especially when he's in a groove. Just feels like the Otters have barely been at the plate today. 0-2 home. Outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes to Quiggle. It's so fast, and when he's in a groove, you're just lost as a bat. 1-2 is fouled straight back right above the roof above us, bouncing back onto the field. It's good the net held, or the ball might be bouncing right into the press box. 1-2 home. Swung on and hammered into right field, taking Riley back at the warning track, reaches up the glove, and it's off the wall. Quiggle hustling to second, relayed in by Riley and cut off. A stand-up double for Kona Quiggle. He's got a new doubles dance. Little knee bouncing at second. The first extra base hit of the day for the Otters, and their first runner in scoring position as well. The 17th double of the season for Kona Quiggle. With 1 out, it brings up the ready Josh Broughton. Otters looking for their first runs here on the top of the 5th, trailing 6-0. Ready batting Broughton. Chrisman on the right side of the rubber delivers. Broughton hacks it one left side, gloved by the third baseman Martino. Toss across the diamond to first in time to beat the sprinting Broughton by a stride. 2 away. Martino, a great job at third there. He looked back, Quiggle to second, and they made the quick throw across to first to beat Broughton. This is the 10th game of the year the Otters and the Thunderbolts have played, and I just have enjoyed watching Martino as a player. He's a really strong third baseman, and he's a scrappy player at the plate. Fun guy to watch for now 10 games. 2 outs, Quiggle at second, and the switch hitter lefty Brian Rosario up. Shows bunt, pulls it back, pitch misses low for a ball, 1 out. Martina, native of the Netherlands, too. You don't find too many baseball players from the Netherlands. 1-0. Inside, 2 balls and no strikes to Rosario. Unless Quiggle is picked off, this will be the first time that Chrisman will now face the minimum in an inning. 2-0 home. Breaking ball on the inner third, a strike, 2-1. Otters had hits in the second and fourth, but they were both erased on inning-ending double plays. Chrisman at the belts and throws. Swung on and chopped off the end of the bat. Long run in for the second baseman. Boone to field it, flipped to first in time to catch Rosario. Otters strand 1 in scoring position in the 5th. No runs. We're halfway home from Ozinga Field. 6-0. Thunderbolts over the Otters on the Evansville Otters Digital Network. Windy City 6, Evansville nothing as we move to the bottom of the 5th inning from Ozinga Field. Sun is set, lights are on, and mostly full effect in front of a light blue but darkening sky overhead. It turned into a cloudless, beautiful evening, about 75 degrees. A nice crowd on a lovely day for baseball. O'Reilly, bottom of the lineup coming up for Windy City. Lefty right fielder leads off for the T-Bolts. Jack Smith home. Riley takes low 1-0. 4 in the first for Windy City, and then 2 more in the 5th. Thunderbolts have 6 runs on 6 hits. Smith on the right side of the rubber delivers. Swung on and grounded to the second baseman Boast. He collects, pauses, and throws to first to easily beat Riley. 1 out. For landscape design that is truly unique, look to locally owned Wild Horticulture. Whether you need a team to design and construct a large-scale landscape project for your business, or looking to create an epic backyard retreat complete with plants, water, and light installation, the experienced team at Wild can take your ideas to the next level. You've likely seen their creative work all over town. 1 out, nobody on for the ready Matt Morgan. Smith home, swing and a miss, 0-1. Wild Horticulture has the skills and resources to deliver inspiring spaces and bring your ideas to life. Have a project in mind? Find them on Instagram and at wildspaces.com. 0-1 home, swing and a miss again, 0-2 to Morgan. Sliders had good movement today for Smith, but he's fallen behind to a lot of batters, and he's left some fastballs over the heart of the plate. Windy City, after a rough weekend, has teed off him today. The 0-2 outside, 1 ball and 2 strikes. 92 pitches for Smith here in the 5th. 2-run home run for Spillane in the first, and then a 2-out RBI base hit for Morgan. Close out the 4-run inning. 1-2, sail side, 2 balls and 2 strikes. 2 more scored in the 4th. There's only 1 hit in the inning, but an error, a walk, a hit batter, and 1 base hit. Ended up having 2 come across in the 4th inning. 2-2 home. Low and a full count to Morgan. Thunderbolts come in with a 3-game losing streak. The Otters, the opposite, coming in with a 3-game winning streak. And Windy City has certainly looked like a desperate team today. Helps having the race on the mound. The payoff home is fouled straight back. T-Bolts 11 under 500, but struggled really mightily on the road. They're 9-23 on the road, but they're 21-18 here at home. Pitch home. Foul tipped off the end of the bat and into the glove of Felix. 2 away. Back to the slider for Smith. His 4th German-American Bank strikeout of the evening. With 2 away and nobody on, it brings up Troy Viola. Righty batter with the bases empty. 6-0 Windy City leads. Pitch home. And a strike taken at the letters. Pitch home. Right down the middle. 0-2 to Viola. Next pitch will be Smith's 100. Got off to a tough start, but he has ate up some innings for the Otters. Evansville's bullpen still quiet. 0-2 home. Popped up high in the air into right field. Drifting back, Josh Broughton a few steps from the track under the baseball. Makes the catch to retire the side. A quick 1-2-3 inning for Zach Smith in the 5th. After 5, it's 6-0 Windy City on the Evansville Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports.
for a Hunt Punch cooler on tap. If you enjoy smoking at the Black House, you can also pick some up at your local retailers.
Five innings complete from Ozinga Field. WindyCity 6, Evansville Otters nothing on a Tuesday evening from the south side of Chicago. In Cook County, about an hour or so away from the loop, maybe 45 minutes if you did without traffic, but there's always traffic here in Chicago. Justin Felix leads off the 6th and takes a first pitch high for a ball. Crispin rocks back and forth and delivers a strike right down the middle, 0-2. At this point, who knows? Garrett Crispin even has to exit this game. He's at just 63 pitches in the 6th. He's been rolling along without barely a blemish. Pitch home, sails high. That's 2 balls and 1 strike to Felix. Felix struck out his first time up back in the 3rd inning. Wind and a throw. Swung on, broken bat, but the ball flaring into left field and down for a base hit. Wow, the top half of the bat splintering and landing all the way in front of Junior Martina at 3rd base, while the ball somehow went with it all the way into left. My goodness. Well, sacrificing the lumber, but getting a hit. Justin Felix will take it. Sends his on-base streak to 11 games. Fastball on the outer 3rd, and my goodness, that's one of the furthest I've seen ahead of a broken bat fly all year. 1-0, nobody out for the righty Austin Boast. Pitch home, Boast hacks at it and fouls it right by Andy McCauley at 3rd. It's the 4th hit of the game for the Otters here in the 6th inning on the base hit by Felix. Evansville has not had 2 runners on in a half inning yet today. 0-1 from Crispin. Swing and a miss, 0-2. Boasts his first road game as a young professional. The rookie made his professional debut last Wednesday for the Otters at Boise. Ended up finishing with 4 hits in the series against Schaumburg and 2 home runs. What a weekend for the young kid. 0-2. Swing and a miss. And he's down on strikes. 1 away. It's all clicking tonight for Crispin. The breaking ball's been good. The command's been excellent. He hasn't walked a batter. He has 4 strikeouts and a mix of groundouts and flyouts. It's been efficient and effective. And the Otters getting a good look tonight at why Garrett Crispin is one of the best pitchers in the Frontier League. 1 out, 1 on for the top of the order, Noah Myers, who hacks the first pitch down the right field line and out into right field for a hit. Felix hustling to 3rd. The ball thrown in by Riley is nowhere near in time. Felix standing up at 3rd base, and the Otters have runners on the corners with 1 out. Noah Myers not waiting around and taking the first pitch up in the zone, right past the first baseman, Yonamine, and into right field. First time the Otters have 2 on in an inning. Trying to scratch across their first run here in the 6th as they trail 6-0. Felix at 3rd, Myers at 1st. Ethan Skinder, the righty, stands in. Skindy, he is 0 for 2 today. Crispin steps off, fires back to first base, and Myers back in safely. Myers a 3-stride lead at 1st. Yonamine holding him on the back. Wind home. Skinder pops it up high in the air on the infield. Viola racing in, calling everyone up behind the mound and making the catch. 2 away. That was some clear communication by Troy Viola. Threw up the arms in the air, yelling, "Mine, mine, mine," and making sure no one else was going to get close to him. That's the communication you need on those infield pop-ups, especially behind the mound. Everyone starts going after it. Just kind of like in the outfield, the center fielder gets priority. On the infield, the shortstop typically the team leader. So 2 away, runners still in the corners, and Dakota Phillips, the lefty batter, digs in. Crispin winds and throws. Fouled straight back off the backstop, 0-1. Otters still looking for their first run here in the top of the 6th as they trail 6-0. Evansville has lost 9 of their last 12 on the road. 0-1 home. High, 1 ball and 1 strike. Otters have done well in series openers, though. They've won 4 of their last 5 series openers. 5 of their last 6 make it. Going all the way back to the 2nd series after the All-Star break. Only loss was at Lake Erie. 1-1 is ripped down the first base line. Well, foul. 1-2 to Phillips. It's not gone according to plan, though, tonight for the Otters. 4 in the first for the T-Bolts, and they've cruised sets up 6-0 now. 1-2 home. Swing and a miss. Breaking ball falling out of the zone by Crispin. Strikes out Phillips and retires the side. What a night for Garrett Crispin. Looking like the all-star he is. 5 strikeouts, 6 shutout innings, and it's 6-0 Thunderbolts as we move to the bottom of the 6th on the Evansville Otters Digital Network.
Your car is the dirtiest one in our parking lot. You deserve free car wash from Delta Sonic. Congratulations! Pick up your free car wash at the box office down the left field line. Thanks to Delta Sonic for Kristen's free car wash. And now fans so excited, it's time to Delta Sonic Kristen.
Hunter Clucky into the ballgame for the Otters in the bottom of the 6th inning as the Thunderbolts lead the Otters 6-0 on a Tuesday night in a series opener between Windy City and Evansville. Zach Smith's day ends, 5 innings pitched, 6 runs allowed on 6 hits, 4 walks, and 1 hit batter. 4 in the first and then 2 more in the 4th. For Windy City, now the ball to the southpaw Hunter Clucky, making his 23rd appearance of the season, 4.45 ERA, and 28 in the 3rd innings pitch. First pitch home from Clucky, a breaking ball on the outside corner. A strike to the lefty, Kumalos. 37 strikeouts, just 17 walks, and 28 in the 3rd innings pitch for Clucky. He's allowed 14 earned on the season. Black belt set just above the belt, delivers home. Fastball outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Clucky a good homestand at Bossy Field in 2 outings, both against Florence. Did not allow a run in 3 combined innings pitched. The 1-1 swing and a miss. Kumalos all tied up on a changeup down in the dirt, 1-2. Clucky delivers. Grounded foul right side of the first base back. Not the best night for Zach Smith. He did settle down after that 4-run first, but never really found a great groove. Obviously, just when you give up such a big first inning, it's tough mentally. 1-2 is chopped off the end of the bat and rolls foul down the 3rd base line. Felix chasing after it. We'll just kick it now into the Windy City bullpen. Smith in line for potentially his third straight loss on the mound, but it's another night where he's not getting any help from the Otters offense, with Evansville shut out so far through 6. 1-2 home, outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes to Koumalos. Otters bullpen has been terrific of late. What a series they had against Schaumburg. Clucky at the belt, the 2-2. Grounded right side. Coming in is Bose, bounces off his glove, past him to right, picks it back up, and Koumalos is safe at first before he has even the chance to throw it. And E4 on Austin Bose will allow Koumalos to reach. Second error of the evening by the Otters infield. 1 on, nobody out, and brings up Junior Martina, the third baseman. Martina, what a day. 2 for 3, and he scored both times. Takes a first pitch on the outside corner for a strike. Otters bullpen holding a 3.51 ERA overall this season. A total of nearly 200 innings pitched now. 0-1. Inside, and it's Martina on the foot. Top of the left foot of Martina. There's 2 on for Windy City with nobody out in the 6th. Breaking ball inside. Second time the Otters have hit a batter today. Martina limping a little bit as he jogs down the first base line. Koumalos to second, Martina to first. Nobody out in the 6th as Brent Spillane stands in. Clucky comes home. Pitch outside to Koumalos, 1-0. So Otters bullpen has had a great year, and they're in a streak entering today of 11 2/3 straight innings without allowing an earned run. That's going back to Thursday night's game at Florence. So over 3 games for the Otters without allowing an earned run from the pen. The 1-0 inside, 2 balls and no strikes. That was a huge reason that the Otters got the sweep of Schaumburg, because they were able to come from behind, and the Otters' pen came in and was just lights out. They didn't allow the Boomers to extend their leads. The Otters completed their comebacks, and Evansville's bullpen, I mean, they didn't just shut out Schaumburg. They just felt dominant. There was not really many chances for the Boomers. 2-0 on the outside corner, a strike, 2-1. It was a felt much needed performance from the Otters bullpen. That it had some blips over the 6-game road trip to end the East Coast, and July, the East Coast road trip to end July, and then had some struggles as well in the first couple days against Florence. 2-1, low, 3 balls and 1 strike. Really was a reminder over the weekend against Schaumburg. This is how good this Otters bullpen can look like. That was untouchable in May. Otters had 32 1/3 innings scoreless pitch from the bullpen over 12 games, almost at the very start of the season in May. 3-1 home. Popped up off the end of the bat of Spillane on the infield. In frustration, he tosses the bat towards the Thunderbolt dugout. Back is Bose to make the catch at second base. Bose ended up barely having to move a couple steps back from his position. And that's the first out of the inning. One away, Koumalos at second, Martina at first, as Peyton Isaacson, the DH, strikes to the plate. Lefty batter is 0 for 2 and walked back in the first inning. Clucky at the belt and throws. Breaking ball outside, 1-0 to Isaacson. Koumalos at second reached on an error. Martina at first reached on a hit by pitch. Windy City lead 6-0 in the bottom of the 6th. Clucky home. Outside, 2-0. Lead for Windy City here on the south side of Chicago. It's a windless day, though. It's just beautiful, 74 degrees on this August evening. And the flags out in right field are not moving an inch. 2-0 outside. 3 balls and no strikes to Isaacson. It is quite windy in Chicago, but the name actually does not come, the Windy City, from the amount of wind, but was actually named back in the day because of the perceived notions of Chicago politicians. And that's why Windy City is Chicago. The 3-0 outside for ball 4. 4-pitch walk to Isaacson. Loads the bases for Windy City here in the 6th inning. Kumalos at third, Martina at second, Isaacson at first, and Micah Yonamine, the T-Bolts first baseman, comes to the plate. Yonamine 0 for 1 today. Base hit back of the first. Pitch home. Anthony is for a strike. Going 1 to Yonamine, Honolulu native. Leads the T-Bolts offense this year. Hits and runs, second in RBIs. Got a great chance here to put up another big number for Windy City in the 6th. 0-1 from Clucky. Swung on and hit hard into right field over the head of Boast and down for a base hit. 1 run will score. Martina hustling from second. The throw is up the third base line as Martina slides in safely. It's 8-0 T-Bolts. Yonamine stroking one over the head of Boast in second. And Broaden's throw was a little bit down the line. Couldn't catch Martina, who scored from second. Kumalos easily scored from third. 2 more across in the 6th. And it's all Windy City now. They lead 8-0. Isaacson at second, Yonamine at first, and it brings up Jake Boone. Clucky home. Strike right down the middle, 0-1. Pitch from Clucky on the outside corner, 0-2 to Boone. Otters entered on a 3-game win streak after sweeping Schaumburg, but it was a tough July on the road for the Otters. On this first road game of August, 0-2. Lunged and fouled away by Boone. Stays alive. Look at most teams as they head in July and August. The road records have gotten much worse across the league as bodies tire and backs stiffen after too many hours on buses that the human body is designed for. 0-2. Inside corner, strike 3 called. Boone left looking. He's shaking his head at Kevin Worth, the home plate umpire. Has a few more words for him as he finally walks back to the batter's box. Or back to the dugout, I should say. 2 away, first German-American bank strikeout for Clucky. It brings up Will Riley, the right fielder. Riley 0 for 2 today with a walk. Lefty batter with 2 on and 2 out in the 6th. Windy City 8, Evansville nothing. Clucky home. Riley takes high, 1-0. Otters lost all 4 road series that were fully in the month of July. Beat Joliet, a series that started on June 30th and then went in July. And since then have dropped 4 straight. As Riley takes low 2-0. We're swept at Lake Erie. And then after the All-Star break, losing 2 of 3 at Tri-City, losing 2 of 3 at Lake Erie, and then losing 2 of 3 at New York. Home. Chopped right side. Over to the right is Phillips to back in. It bobbles it. Underhand toss to Clucky, who steps on the bag. And they're going to say not in time. So Clucky did not get his foot on the bag. to beat Riley. And Andy McCauley again is out to talk with Ben Gray, the first base umpire. I don't see what Ben Gray was looking at there. Just show the replay on the Jumbotron. They're saying the ball didn't get into the glove of Clucky before he stepped on the bag. I'm not sure. Certainly looked like he beat Riley comfortably to the first base bag. And now Ben Gray, Kevin Worth, and Christopher Viverito, the Frontier League umpiring crew, converging to chat again. Trying to replay again on the Jumbotron. We got another angle. Couldn't see much from there. It's not a very big Jumbotron here at Ozinga Field. It's a small video screen, and most of it is made up of the scoreboard and the line score for each inning. So if Riley is safe, the bases are loaded for Windy City with 2 outs, and they will rule him safe. Give an error to Clucky, which is interesting ruling. So Riley's safe at first, Isaacson at third, Yonamine at second, and the Otters committed their 3rd error of the day, which is now the most Evansville has committed in any game this season. Never made more than 2 errors in a game until today, and this in game number 72. That's a pretty impressive accomplishment. Matt Morgan, the batter, righty, takes the first pitch outside for a ball. 1-0. On the outside corner is strike 1 and 1. Lights are on into full effect now on this Tuesday evening from Ozinga Field. 1-1. Outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. It was a short bus ride for the Others, just 5 hours up here to Crestwood, but there's just a general wear and tear that builds over the course of a season. There's just a level of tiredness among the squad that wasn't here a month ago. The 2-1 is strong to right. It's Skinder at short. He reaches up the glove and makes the catch to retire the side. Thunderbolts leave the bases loaded in the 6th, but they get 2 more. And after 6 innings played, it's Windy City 8, Evansville nothing on the Evansville Otters Digital Network. Top of the 7th inning from Ozinga Field under the lights on a Tuesday night from the south side of Chicago. Thunderbolts 8, Otters nothing. 6th inning is shutout for the Thunderbolts ace, Garrett Chrisman. His day will end. He certainly could have pitched longer, but with now an 8-run lead for Windy City, I think the feeling that they didn't need to have him pitch any longer, so they'll bring in the righty Sebastian Selway here in the 7th, and the righty's first pitch home misses inside to Yomar Reyes. Selway 0-2 on this season, 4.05 ERA. Righty at the chest, delivers. Reyes fouls it away, 1-1. Selway at just 5'8", 175 on the mound. He was featured a bunch of times against the Otters in the last series last month at Bosse Field. Size of the shoulders and the 1-1. Reyes takes inside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Chrisman's final totals on the evening: 6 shutout innings, allowed just 5 hits, no walks, 5 strikeouts, allowed just 1 extra base hit, and only 1 inning where 2 runners reached. He was dominant in a all-star kind of way. 2-1. Inside, 3 balls and 1 strike to Reyes. Reyes will call time, reset the batting gloves. Windy City 4 in the first, 2 in the 4th, and then 2 more in the 6th for an 8-0 lead. Thunderbolts only scored 2 combined runs at Florence over the weekend. 3-1, pumped up by Reyes, high in the air into right field. Playable for Riley, a few steps from the track, makes the catch. 1 out. If you have a group of friends or coworkers who wish to come to historic Bosse Field and enjoy an Otters home game, contact the Otters front office to reserve a party deck on the Corona Extra Patio Deck. The Corona Extra Patio Deck is one of the best places to watch a game with an all-you-can-eat menu and unlimited bottled water and soft drinks. Call 812-435-8686 for more information on how you can book your next celebration. 1 out, nobody on for Kona Quiggle, who takes a first pitch strike at the knees. 8-0, Windy City leads in the top of the 7th. Selway on the right side of the rubber, just sets above the belt, fires home. Pitch just misses outside, 1-1. 93-mile-per-hour fastball from the 5'8" righty. Hard thrower for a guy that's pretty short, especially pitching-wise. 1-1, fouled right side, 1-2. It's not easy when you don't have a lot to work with to get pitches up to that level of velocity. Often guys that are under 6 feet as pitchers, they're a little more crafty with different pitch repertoires, but Selway's got some good velo. 1-2, fouled right side. Quiggle stays alive. Selway in his 2nd year with the Thunderbolts. Played his college ball at San Francisco State and LSU Shreveport. 1-2, bounces in front of home plate. 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two from Selway. Sails high and a full count. Went to the NAIA World Series with the Pilots of LSU Shreveport. You know, baseball's big in Louisiana. Payoff home. Quiggle pops it up behind home plate and out of play. San Francisco State, D2, and of course San Francisco. Now has had a lengthy pro career, starting the US PBL. Now 2 years in the Frontier League. The payoff pitch sails high for the ball. And a walk to Quiggle. First walk of the day for the Otters, as Chrisman did not walk a batter. 1 on, 1 out. It brings up Josh Braun. Right fielder, he is 0 for 2 today. Otters trail 8-0 here in the top of the 7th. So way home. Braun takes high, 1-0. Josh Braun, we've talked a lot about his athleticism. Has 2 brothers that have played in the NFL. Plus, his father also played in the NFL as well as in the CFL. 1-0. At the letters 1-1. His most prominent brother, Cassius Marsh, played for a variety of football teams. So when I asked Josh about him, he said, yeah, well, he's probably most famous for not getting along with Bill Belichick. 1-1 coming to Braun. Selway delivers. Sails high. 2 balls and 1 strike. You know, Bill Belichick, the New England Patriots head coach, is famously known to be a bit of a stickler at times. He's not a bubbly, light personality. And Marsh actually didn't get along with Belichick and ended up requesting a trade. Been on a variety of teams. 49ers, Seahawks, Patriots. A lot of successful teams. 2-1. Fouled away 2-2. It was also, Josh told me, in a viral video where he got knocked over by a referee on accident during a game. Some music anecdotes about his brother, who started at UCLA, was a 4th-round draft pick by the Seahawks in 2014. 2-2 home. Swung on and ripped down the right field line. This ball's foul. Braun just missed that one, and what a easily scored quiggle as it rolled all the way to the wall, but just a bounce to the right of the right field foul line. Braun's father, Curtis Marsh Sr., played 3 years in the NFL, 2 years in the CFL, was a Jags draft pick. Shares the same dad with Cassius Marsh, as well with his other NFL brother, Curtis Marsh. 2-2. Swing and a miss. 2 outs. First strikeout for Selway. 2 away here in the 7th. Kona Quiggle at first. It brings up the switch hitter, Brian Rosario. He'll bat lefty here. Rosario's 0 for 2 today, and his 20-game on-base streak could be on the line on this at-bat. Pitch home is a high chopper, right side, charging in Martina to barehanded throw to first, beats Rosario by a stride. What a play, Junior Martina at the hot corner. High hop, cut in front of Viola on the grass. A barehanded pick and throw to beat Rosario. The Thunderbolts defense has been beautiful tonight. Time to stretch at Ozinga Field, 8-0. T-Bolts over the Otters on the Evansville Otters Digital Network. Bottom of the 7th inning from Ozinga Field in Crestwood, Illinois. It was the site of the Frontier League All-Star game about a month ago. Today, the site of the series opener between the Otters and the Thunderbolts, the fourth and the final series between these two Frontier League West opponents. It's all Windy City tonight. They lead 8-0 in the bottom of the 7th inning. Troy Viola leads off against the lefty Hunter Clucky. Clucky home in a first pitch strike at the letters to Viola. Clucky pitched the 6th inning for the Otters. Only allowed 1 hit, but 2 runs came across as Evansville committed 2 errors in the inning. Viola grounds 1 to second, right to the second baseman Austin Bose. Tossed to first in time to beat Viola. And there's 1 away. Viola is 0 for 4 today. Back to the top of the order in the left fielder, Paul Kumalos. Eight runs on 7 hits, no errors for Windy City. No runs on 5 hits, 3 errors for Evansville. Clucky home. Strike on the outside corner, 0-1. Time for an out-of-town scoreboard check brought to you by WJPS 107.1. Tune in to the Otters Daily Update every Monday through Friday on WJPS 107.1. Kumalos calls time before the 0-1. An afternoon final, New York takes down Tri-City 12-6 in Pomona. Valley Cats all of a sudden have dropped 4 of their last 5. They're going on a big win streak. They went on a 10-game win streak. Now you've dropped 4 of your last 5. It's kind of that never be too high, never be too low in a 96-game season. As Kumalos takes outside 1-1. Clucky home. Popped up into center field. Quiggle a few steps back, reaches up the glove, and makes the catch. 2 away. 2 outs, nobody on in the 7th. Junior Martino will come to the plate. 8-0 Thunderbolts. Quebec comes from behind to take down New Jersey 9-8. That's a key battle in the Frontier League East. Capitales take the first game from Hinchliffe. And it means that Quebec and New Jersey now are tied. Tied atop the East standings. In Avon, Ohio, the losing streak is finally over for Lake Erie. Junior Martinez swings the first pitch, grounds it left side to Ethan Skinder, tosses to first in time to beat Martina by a stride, and the inning is over. We'll continue the scoreboard check on the other side. After 7, it's 8-0 Thunderbolts on the Evansville Otters Digital Network. Top of the 8th inning from Ozinga Field, 8-0. The Thunderbolts lead the Otters here on the Evansville Otters Digital Network and Flow Sports. Griffin Epstein on the road here in Crestwood, excuse me. It's a But all Windy City tonight, they scored 4 runs in the first inning, and the Otters offense scoreless on just 5 hits through the first 7. New pitcher into the ballgame for Windy City, Derek Eddington, the righty, is the second pitcher out of the bullpen. 21st appearance for Eddington, 1.61 ERA, and 21 1/3 innings pitched, 21 strikeouts to 19 walks. Faces the righty Justin Felix, who takes the first pitch high for a ball. Big righty on the mound, Eddington stands at 6'8", 218. First-year rookie from Pickford, Michigan. On the right side of the rubber, he works out of the stretch even though nobody on. That's just above the belt, fires home inside again to Felix, 2-0. 4 runs in the first, 2 more in the fourth, and 2 more in the sixth for Windy City. And they've rolled over the Otters tonight. 2-0 home, right down the middle, 2 balls to 1 strike. Otters with just 5 hits tonight, only 1 inning that they've had 2 runners on in 1 inning. That was in the 6th. Just 1 extra base hit, a double by Quiggle in the 5th. And just 1 walk. 2-1, high again, 3 balls and 1 strike. Otters have hit well, very well against Windy City this year in all their wins. Except for the Sun Death walk-off, the Otters scored 7 or more. Felix takes a strike on the outside corner and a full count. That's 5 games, 5 of the 9 the Otters have played against Windy City. They scored 7 or more runs. But in their losses, just a combined 6 runs. Shutout so far tonight. Payoff home. Fastball on the outside corner. Felix, though, went around. Peeled down to first. Ben Gray says he went around. 1 away in the 8th. Back to the Frontier League out-of-town scoreboard. We mentioned the streak is over. 10-game losing streak for Lake Erie comes to an end tonight on the Crushers' return home. They walk off the Washington Wild Things 2-1 in the 10th inning. Crushers to finally get a win, and the Otters applauding that effort. The 4th place Wild Things drop a game to the last place team in the West. The closest team to the Otters for the last playoff spot. Austin Boast, righty, takes the first pitch on the inside corner for a strike. 0-1 home. Sails high, 1 ball to 1 strike. Last score in the East, Ottawa defeats Sussex County 10-4 in New Jersey. Empire State and Trois-Rivières rained out. They'll play 2 tomorrow. 2 games in the West, certainly affecting the Otters in the standings in the race for the West Division crown. The 1-1. Outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Schaumburg and Gateway both home for 6-game homestands this week, but the Boomers look like they're going to drop their 4th in a row for the first time this season. They trailed Joliet 7-0 in the top of the 8th inning from Wintrust Field. 2-0. Popped up by Boast high in the air. Shallow center field is Troy Viola. The shortstop makes the 2-handed grab above his head. 2 away in the 8th. 2 outs back to the top of the order, and Noah Myers, who's led the Otters offense. 2 for 3 today for the lefties. Evansville trails 8-0 here in the 8th. Joliet leading Schaumburg 7-0. The Boomers offense really struggled against Otters pitching, and they have just 3 hits tonight. First pitch to Myers, breaking ball high, 1-0. And last score, Gateway trying to extend its lead in the West. 2 games up on Schaumburg, 4 on the Otters entering the night, and they lead Florence 4-1 this evening from Sauget. 1-0, swing and a miss, 1-1. That's your Frontier League out-of-town scoreboard, brought to you by WJPS 107.1. Tune in every Monday through Friday for the Otters Daily Update every morning. 1-1, misses low, 2 balls and 1 strike. Means as Joliet wins and Washington loses, Joliet will tie the Wild Things for that 4th place spot in the West. Of who, if anyone, is going to try to chase the Otters for the last playoff spot, as Myers takes a strike 2-2. Thought for maybe the last week it'd be the Wild Things, but there still really hasn't. A team needs to make a run, it feels like. 2-2. Myers checks his swing. He went around, ball in the dirt. Picked up by Morgan. He throws to first to beat Myers and retire the side. Otters go down in order in the 8th. They trail 8-0. Middle of the 8th on the Otters Digital Network. Bottom of the 8th from Ozinga Field here in Crestwood. Windy City 8, Evansville nothing. Hunter Clucky out for his 3rd inning of work from the Otters bullpen. Lefty to face the righty, Brent Spillane. First pitch home, misses outside for a ball. Otters hoping that Clucky here can finish the 8th inning, and Evansville will only have to use one arm out of the bullpen today. After Zach Smith went 5. Spillane chops one foul down the third base line, 1-1. Clucky's season high 2 2/3 innings pitched and 48 pitches. He's completed 2 innings here today and at 37. 1-1. Fouled away by Spillane, 1-2. Well, school is back in session in Evansville. The first full day of school, I believe, for the Evansville-Vanderburg School Corporation is tomorrow. It's either tomorrow or Thursday. I just looked at the school calendar. Not that I'm sending a kid to school, so I guess that doesn't matter for me, because Spillane grounds one foul. Stay alive, 1-2. But the first full week of school, it's this week. Kids have been headed off to school, and it's certainly felt like more traffic around Evansville last couple days. If you're sending your kid off to school or you're headed off to school, best of luck. 1-2 outside, 2 balls and 2 strikes. Played a game here a couple innings ago at Ozinga Field where they do this every game here at Ozinga. They try to give a category, and name as many objects that fit into that category as possible. So as back to school is on everyone's mind. So here's the 2-2 home. On the outside corner, strike 3 called. Brings Spillane up, 1 away. Second strikeout for Clucky of his evening, 1 away in the 8th with nobody on. It brings up Peyton Isaacson. 8-0 Windy City leads here in the bottom of the 8th. So the fan tried to name as many school supplies as possible. Got to 12 school supplies in 15 seconds. Pretty solid. And then they put a player up on the Jumbotron, pre-recorded, to see how many he was able to do. First pitch home to Isaacson is fouled away off the camera well down the right field line. And the fan ended up being Junior Martina. Martina only got to 7 school supplies, and he was kind of cheating because he went history textbook, science textbook. I'd say that's the same school supply. 0-1 sales high, 1 ball and 1 strike. So the fan got the win, beat out Martina naming school supplies. if you're a parent, I bet you do really well at that, especially around now. On your trip to Target or Walmart, been stocking up on markers and scissors and tape and binder paper. Isaacson takes a strike, 1 and 2. You just take out your list when you went to Target and you just start naming the school supplies off that. 1-2, swing and a miss. Beautiful breaking ball by Clucky. 2 away in the 8th. Otters will be back at home this weekend. I was thinking this weekend is a great reward to bring your kid out to the ballpark. The first week of school is always so stressful. There's a lot of nerves. You feel socially exhausted too as a kid because you're not used to interacting with so many people all day. And then first day of school is very exhausting. Yonamine takes the first pitch, strike, 0-1. I think this weekend is a perfect weekend to bring your kid out to the ballpark. And I know high school football's got one more week before it kicks off in Evansville. So a weekend to catch the Otters to start of school. The 0-1 misses outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. They've been celebrating back to school night here tonight with a few back to school themed activities. 1-1 home. Outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Two outs, nobody on in the bottom of the 8th. 8-0, the Thunderbolts lead the Otters. 2-1 home from Clucky, swing and a miss, 2-2. Crazy, this season started with a couple weeks left in the school year, and now it's still got 4 more weeks and the school year starting again. Just how long this 96-game Frontier League season is. 2-2 home. Fouled away by Yonamine to stay alive. Otters have some interns that they're headed back to school. College starting up as well in a couple weeks. Both University of Evansville, USI, IU are 2 weeks away from classes kicking off. The 2-2 outside and a full count to Yonamine. I'll tell you, if you want to make your trip to Target, you got to do it in the next week because Target during welcome week in places with colleges it's apocalyptic. Payoff home, popped up by Yonamine, right side of the infield. 3 gray jerseys racing over. It's Josh Brunn who will make the catch as he goes down to a knee, falling over down the right field line. Tough play for Brunn. I don't know how he held on to the baseball as he fell over, reaching to his left, and had a little assist as his glove hit the turf. So Clucky retires the last 7 batters he faces. Good work out of the Otters bullpen. Last chance for Evansville as we go to the 9th. 8-0. Thunderbolts lead on the Evansville Otters Digital Network. Welcome back to Ozinga Field. Last chance for the Otters in the top of the 9th inning. They trail 8-0. New pitcher in for the T-Bolts, Justin Miller, righty from Fresno, California. Experienced Thunderbolts, making his 31st appearance of the season. Already sets at the belt, comes home to Ethan Skinder, pitch, and for a strike at the knees. Miller, a 5.66 ERA in 35 innings pitched this year. 0-1 from the lanky righty, inside and hits Skinder. Hit him on the left hip. Another hit by pitch by Ethan Skinder this season. He's aboard for the first time today. A crazy amount of times that Skinder has been hit this season. That is the 17th time he's been hit by a pitch this year, and that is tied for the second most in the Frontier League. 17 times he's been hit by a pitch. It's one tough guy. So Skinder aboard at first as the leadoff batter, and it brings up Dakota Phillips. Otters trail 8-0 here in the ninth. Pitch home from Miller on the outside corner of a strike, 0-1 to Phillips. Otters don't have a hit since the 6th inning, just 5 hits today. 0-1. Outside, 1 ball and 1 strike. Otters trying to avoid being shut out for the 7th time this season. 1-1 to Phillips. Swung on and lofted down the third base line off the glove of Martina into left field. Trickling all the way out into left where finally Viola picks it up. Skinder to second, Phillips at first. See if it goes down as an error, a hit. Hard hit ball, but it was right at Martina. He just couldn't squeeze it right off his glove. The Otters, for just the 2nd time today, have 2 runners on in an inning. Skinder to second, Phillips to first. Omar Reyes, Evansville's 3rd baseman, comes to the plate. He's 1 for 3 today. Calling it an E5, error on Martina. Otters trying to get on the board here today. The middle game of this series coming up tomorrow evening. Miller home. Reyes pops the first pitch up. In shallow center field, out is Viola, in is Spillane, and it is Viola who drops the ball. Drops it in center, he'll throw to second. Out there is Phillips. Down to third is Skinder, and Reyes is safe at first. My goodness. Dakota Phillips arguing now with third base umpire Christopher Viverito, and Andy McCauley sprinting over to make sure Phillips stays out of it, sending him back to the dugout. And now McCauley arguing with Viverito. The Otters maybe wanting the infield fly rule applied here. Boy, that Viola was not on the bag. It was, Boone, excuse me, not on the bag to second base. Viola dropping the ball in shallow center, and then he was able to pick it up and toss to Boone. It was at second base, and Phillips was having to wait, of course, to see if Viola would make the catch or not before he could take off. So that's 1 out. Skinder to third, Phillips and first. Or Reyes, excuse me, at first, with Phillips down at second, and Kona Quiggle, the lefty batter, takes a first pitch for a strike. Well, at Reyes reeling on a fielder's choice. The 0-1 misses low to Quiggle, 1-1. Runners on the corners, 1 out in the top of the 9th. The Otters trailing 8-0. 1-1. Outside, 2 balls and 1 strike. Quiggle had the Otters' only extra base hit, a double back in the 5th inning, and walked in the 7th. 2-1. Foul tipped off the end of the bat and trickling back to the Otters dugout. 2-2 to Quiggle. Viola at short, a few strides back and towards the second base bag, with Reyes at first and Skinder at third. Pitch home. Quiggle pops it up out of play. Miller working out of the stretch. Red glove sets just above the belt. The 2-2. Foul tipped off the end of the bat and back to the screen. Tomorrow evening, same time, first pitch, 6:35. Austin Gossman, the righty, will go for the Otters, while Javier Reynoso, the lefty, goes for the Thunderbolts. The Otters face Reynoso the last game at Bossy Field before the All-Star break and got the win over Reynoso. Two home. Grounded foul right side. Look out into the Otters dugout. It bounced right off the side of the wall and just right down the hallway back to the Otters clubhouse. Quiggle, a long fight here with Miller. Another pitch home, swing and a miss. 2 away. Two outs, and it brings up Josh Brodden. Last chance here for the Otters. Brodden is 0 for 3. 8-0, Windy City leads here with 2 outs in the top of the 9th inning. Otters' 3-game win streak in jeopardy. Pitch home from Miller. Brodden fouls it off. No runs on 5 hits, 3 errors today for Evansville as a season high. 8 runs on 7 hits, 1 error for Windy City. 0-1 for Miller. Outside, gets back to the backstop, and ricochets right off the backstop. Morgan gets there pretty quickly, and Skinder will hold at third base. Probably would have been out. Was the smart play. It's a pretty shallow backstop here at Ozinga Field. And took a big hop. Back to the catcher, Morgan. Reyes goes down to second, though, on the wild pitch. So 2 in scoring position now for the Otters. 1-1. Lined hard down the left field line, hooking foul into the Thunderbolts bullpen. Windy City down to is a strike away from the win. Miller at the belt and home. Outside, 2-2. It's 9th, just the second, make it just the 3rd time the Otters have put a runner in scoring position today. 2-2. Grounded left side, right to Martina at third. He gloves it, throw across the diamond, beats Braun, and that's the ball game. Windy City wins 8-0. The Otters shut out for the 7th time this season. A 8-0 victory for Windy City over Evansville. Well, the 3-game winning streak for the Otters comes to a close while the Thunderbolts were swept last weekend. They turned the tables and knock off the Otters. Just the 3rd victory this season for Windy City over Evansville, and the first time they win a game without walking things off. Otters shut out. First time Evansville's been shut out since July 16th, which was the last game of the series at Tri-City. Final totals, Windy City 8 runs on 7 hits and 1 error. Evansville no runs on 5 hits and 3 errors. Zach Smith suffers the loss tonight for the Otters. He allowed 4 runs in the first inning, and Evansville really never looked like they recovered after that 4-run first. 5 innings pitched for Smith. He allowed 6 hits on 6 runs, just 4 earned, 4 walks, 3 strikeouts, and allowed 1 home run. Brent Spillane did a 2-run home run to start the scoring for Windy City in the first, and a 2-out, 2 RBI base hit for Matt Morgan added to the scoring. 2 more came across for Windy City in the 4th inning, as 2 errors in the inning helped the 2 runs for the Thunderbolts. They would add 2 more runs in the 6th inning, and that would cap the scoring. 8-0 win for Windy City. Otters were led by Noah Myers. He finished 2 for 4 today and was the only Otter with 2 hits. Kona Quiggle had the only extra base hit, a double in the 5th inning. Junior Martina led the way for the Thunderbolts. He scored 3 runs today and reached base one way or the other 4 times. 2 walks, a hit by pitch. He's getting the post-game interview and a little water bath down on the field today at Ozinga Field as the Thunderbolts get the win. Garrett Chrisman gets the win for the T-Bolts. He was excellent. 6 innings pitched, 6 shutout innings, allowed just 5 hits, no walks, and 5 strikeouts. The Otters walked just 1 time today and struck out 9 times. Hunter Clucky worked 3 innings in relief today for the Otters, allowed 1 earned run on 1 hit, 3 strikeouts, and retired the last 7 batters of his outing. So the Otters shut out tonight. They fall here in the series opener from Crestwood 8-0. Once again, the final totals: 8 runs, 7 hits, 1 error for Windy City, no runs, 5 hits, 3 errors for Evansville. Otters fall to 40-32 on the season. They've lost now 10 of their last 13 road games. And with Gateway beating Florence last time I've checked, they're 3 outs away. It looks like the Otters will fall to 5 back of first place Gateway at the end of the night. Windy City snaps their 3-game losing streak, and they improve to 31-41. They have won 5 in a row here at home at Ozinga Field. So once again, the final score: Windy City 8, Evansville 0. For our entire Flow Sports team, led by Pascal Pryor, back with Flow Sports, I'm Griffin Epstein with the Evansville Otters Digital Network. We'll talk to you again tomorrow, 6:35. First pitch will be on the air shortly before, same time, same place here on Flow Sports and the Otters Digital Network. Until then, good night from Chicago as Windy City defeats Evansville.